with PPE equipment for our teams, with temperature checks for our teams, with sanitizer and new sanitation guidelines for how we're going to clean down in between and distance between both the bars and also appointments. So we're working towards that date, but we don't have final confirmation just yet.
And that's increasing your costs significantly, isn't it? All of that, and presumably you can't have as many people inside your nail bars at any one time.
No, it's most likely to operate in an every other station occupied. There'll also need to be time in between each customer to allow that deep cleanse of the bar. So there will have to be significant gaps, both in terms of physical space and in terms of appointments during. But the UK consumer has been pretty scrappy in between that time with salons closed. As you said earlier, there's been a huge rise with customers doing their services at home. So we've seen a huge rise in terms of product sales through our web business.
So are you quite concerned about what this means for your business going forward? Because your costs are rising, you might see a bit of a fall off in demand, and there is such competition, isn't there, on the high street when it comes to nail bars? There's been a massive surge in them.
Yeah, I mean, I think the high street post-COVID might look slightly different to it did pre-COVID anyway. So I think that we'll all obviously see changes, and there's much more challenges in terms of coming back to business. I think when it comes to nail bars, customers, because of everything that's happened over the most recent months, customers are going to pick nail bars and brands and hair salons that they trust, where they know they're going to have the right regulatory measures in place. So I think you'll see a move towards brands, where people really feel that they can trust them, that they are doing those, and that the guidelines are clearly published by those brands.
But presumably you'll have to pass some of those costs on to your customer, will you, and charge more?
No, we're not at the moment. We're not looking at any price increase. What we are seeing at the same time as obviously services being closed is we're seeing a huge demand for product. So during lockdown, we launched a nail polish product that was heat reactive when you washed your hands. So I think with all of us washing our hands hundreds of times a day, we saw a big rise in that. We saw a huge rise in terms of customers using at-home nail treatments from Nails Inc, as well as customers buying into bright, fun, cheer-me-up colours like the neon nail polishes. So I think, while services are slower, customers are buying, more products at home as they start to do their at-home products and realise that actually it is possible for them to do those at-home products in between their salon visits as well.
All right. Well, Thea, it's lovely to meet you and talk to you, and I have noticed your nails look fabulous, unlike mine.
Thank you.
I wish you all the very best going forward in terms of how things work out. So July the 4th, Independence Day for some. I have booked my hairdresser appointment, so I'm praying that can go ahead. Now, Atomic London is a successful young advertising agency which had run campaigns for a number of major corporations. Lockdown has been frustrating for the creative staff there, says Chief Executive John Goulding, because they haven't been able to meet in person to bounce ideas off one another. He says he's desperate for everyone to get back into the office to recap